So 3 movements. I'm going to show you the variation of the goblet squat that I want you to be doing. I'm going to show you a kettlebell swing. Also going to show you a burpee, and in conjunction with that I'll show you how like you're doing a push-up. With any of these movements, with the variation of the goblet squat, with the kettlebell swing, scale the weight as needed while maintaining good posture and position. With the burpee or the push-up, scale the movement as necessary to maintain good posture and position. So I'll show you the scales and the variations of those that you can do if you need to. So with the goblet squat, all you're going to do is grab a dumbbell, only has to be relatively light. Take that dumbbell, place the dumbbell out in front of you at arm's reach. Keep your arms nice and straight. Now the key points of performance for your squat, we want to keep your feet nice and flat on the ground, okay? Have our feet positioned just outside our hips. Toes forward if we can, or only slightly angled out, okay? We don't want our feet pointing 180 degrees to each other. From there, you're going to just have a slight bend in your knee and then start descending. When you descend down, you want to make sure that your feet stay nice and flat on the ground, okay? Don't let your heels come up off the ground, okay? And keep those knees tracking over the top of your feet. Don't let your knee point inside your foot, but also don't push your knee so far to the outside that you're rolling up onto the arch of your foot. Foot needs to be nice and flat on the ground and give you a nice solid base. So take that dumbbell, arms distance out in front of you, okay, feet outside our hips, bend in the knee, go down, maintain a nice flat back, and stand up. If you can, try and get down below parallel. If you can't, if you can only get down to here and then everything starts to go a bit haywire, you only go to the point where you can maintain good posture and position. Don't go any further down. Good posture and position is paramount, okay? We can always increase depth, we can always increase range of motion, we can always increase weight at a later point. Posture and position, number 1 priority. Okay, so with those you're going to be doing between 10 and 15 reps for those when you do that, okay? All right, kettlebell swings. So with our kettlebell swings, again, weight as you need it. Feet outside our hips, you're going to need to take your feet a little bit wider than you would in a squat. Okay, keep good posture and position. Again, I know it's probably the 16th time I've said it in this video, but you need to make sure posture and position again for this movement is paramount. Nice wide stance, okay. Slight bend in the knee, chest up. From there, okay, keep a nice flat back, keep the kettlebell up, let it swing back, and then bring our hips through, okay. As we swing the kettlebell, we'll bring our shoulders over the top of the kettlebell, in front of our knees, keeping our knees tracking over our toes, and using our hips to drive that weight forward. So the cue we use in the gym here is to squeeze your glutes, okay? Tighten your glutes on the way through. So from here, hips through, bang, squeeze the glutes, lock those knees out. That's going to give you that nice pop. Your arms are just cables holding the kettlebell, okay? Your arms aren't physically moving the kettlebell up. How a bad kettlebell swing would look for me is it would look something like this. Okay, all arms, no hips, so make sure, pop, pop. Okay, so getting that pop, hips coming through nice and violently. Okay, so kettlebell swing. Last 2 things we're going to go through a burpee. So when we do a burpee, ideal range of motion for a burpee. From a standing position, we're going to go all the way down to the ground. Okay, chest and hips on the ground, push up, bring our feet back, jump. That's 1. Now, if you can't do that, if you don't have the upper body strength or the explosiveness to do that, you can step down. So, hands on the ground, step those feet back, okay, down, and then push up. If you can't push up, if you need to snake your back, snake your upper body, so what that looks like is this. Try not to do it, okay? Do a push-up onto your knees, maintaining that nice flat back, and then step back, step through, come up. The point of a burpee is to just go back down and get up again. If you still cannot do that, top of a push-up position here, step back, okay, step up, and then jump. That is the final scale back variation of the burpee. Everybody should be able to do that, okay? If you can't go all the way down to the ground. With your push-ups, when you do a push-up,
Want to see elbows tucked in, shoulders in a good position, okay? So keep those elbows nice and close to the body. General rule of thumb we say, for more people who are more visual with their learning, about 45 degrees from your body when you go down, okay? Not like this. It's going to bring my shoulder internally rotated with my elbows come out, okay? Elbows back in. If you need to, if you cannot do those on your toes, full range, so what we're looking for full range is pull a lock out at the top, chest touch the ground, press up. If you can't do that on your toes, drop back to your knees. Just make sure you've got a nice flat body, everything's in alignment, not with our hips all the way in the air, okay? And just our nose touching the ground. That should be all the movements you need to know for this particular first week. There will be more videos coming in the series to try and help you out as you go through.